What is the best advice you have received, and what advice do you give to upcoming professionals?
One of the pieces of advice that I ever received was just be yourself and try not to be things you can't be, just to try to advance in the field. And the one thing that I try to tell graduate students, undergraduate, mid-level professionals is don't be constantly looking to that next step. The most important job you have is the one that you have right now. So make sure you're doing that very well. And if you do that very well, opportunities for advancement will follow.
I think it was just the advice to get involved and to remain involved. And I would pass that back to those individuals who are contemplating participating either in a regional organization, something as simple as a committee, just to attend the conference. Immerse yourself in as much as you can. Don't be the one when they say, I need help to put the finger on the nose. Raise the hand and get involved. I'm here today because I chose to help somebody with a regional newsletter magazine in 1978. And it's been nothing but a rocket flight since then.
The advice I give to people in the field is, it sounds amusing, but actually isn't, is, take your job very seriously, but don't take yourself very seriously. Our jobs are very, very important, but we need to make sure that we're humble enough that we understand that we're a very small piece of a very large puzzle.
Yeah. If best means the one I have to continually remind myself of, it would be understand first before you seek to be understood.
When I worked for Bill Pauline at Cornell, who was an early president of ACUHO, Bill was always about being willing to listen and look for ways to make positive outcomes. And sometimes it meant compromising in ways that you kind of, I don't want to compromise this. But being willing to take the time to listen, take the time, and I'm not good at this. This is one of those hard tasks. I know it about myself. But taking time to listen, trying to gain an understanding of both perspectives and look for common ground.
The best advice to other professionals, I think I try to preach patience and try to encourage them not to get frustrated and bitter and angry. I've seen a lot of people lose their souls that way. So for me, it's really trying to help folks look for what's positive about their experience and understand the privileges and opportunities they have. In terms of my own best advice, I never really had a good mentor in my career. The gentleman I mentioned earlier, Don Mash, after I was an undergraduate, I lost track of him and only had contact with him through email or over time. So I don't know that this was advice, but I think it would have been helpful for me if I could have had someone who could have served as a mentor to me as early on in my career. And maybe that's why it's so important for me now to feel like I owe that. That's a responsibility I have to some of the young people, the people around me, to provide that kind of support, because it was lacking for myself.
I've received a lot of good advice, so figuring out the best advice I've ever received is a tough one, but probably knowing yourself, knowing what it is you do well, what it is you get joy from, what it is you don't like doing, and focusing on the things that you do well or can learn to do better that you enjoy doing. And when I talk with young folks about the field, I really do talk to them about, why do you want to do what you do? What do you get out of that? What are you going to give to that? What's important to you? What do you value? and how do you think you can make a difference?
Well, I think we have to take responsibility for our own professional development. A lot of people look to others to fund them to go away to conferences, and that is important when resources provide that opportunity. But on any given campus, on any given day, there are many different things going on that are free on that campus that would contribute to that individual's own professional development. So seek the assistance of others who you respect for guidance, but don't assume that everybody else is going to help you grow. You need to help yourself grow as a professional and seek out others to help you with the path that you need to take.
The best advice, I'll start crying. I had a teacher in high school, Miss Pullins, one of the roughest teachers I ever had. And as I got up, I kept talking about Miss Pullins, and I connected with her. And she passed away last year, just about a year ago today. And she'd always say, "You can do better." And so when my mom died, and my aunt had died before that, and I hadn't seen Miss Pullins, oh my God, in probably 30 years. But I've been communicating to her later. She came to my aunt's funeral to be there to support me. And when my mom died, she came. And so when my mom had died, and by this time I think I was an assistant VP, and I introduced her to my kids who were adults. And so my son saw what he was doing, and my daughter, and she said, "And you can do better." You know, and so I think what she was saying was, and I know she was tough on me, and I had an opportunity to go visit with her while she was fully well, about 8 months before she died, and our visit became a 4-hour visit, and we were talking, and she said, "You know, I was rough on you," and we just had a wonderful relationship then. She said, "There was something in you that said that you were going to go places, and I wasn't going to let you accept second best." And I think too often we let students and ourselves accept second best. And so I think the best advice I've gotten was from Ms. Pullins, who irritated the hell out of me by always saying, "You can do better."
I guess the best advice I received was probably in 1969, don't do anything that will come back on you. But what I've given to professionals is that my seminal philosophy has been throughout my career, that every flower doesn't bloom the first day of spring. And I subtitle that with everybody has value, everybody has worth, and sometimes it takes longer for that to come out. But we need to be patient.
Wow, these past 2 days here at the annual conference have been simply amazing and has changed my life. In interviewing pillars of the profession, chief housing officers, and learning more about their experiences, their successes, and their journeys, I hope that we have been able to bring to you some takeaways and that you'll be able to use those in your everyday careers and grad programs. They have shown us what it means to have the spirit, the integrity to lead by example, and also help to advance our wonderful profession. They have shown us that it takes commitment, dedication, and honesty to help transform, but also to underscore what we do to really help impact the lives of students. So until next year, we hope that you have enjoyed this presentation, and we look forward to seeing you at next year's annual conference. Have a great and wonderful school year.